Greetings, this is Skylar Saunders singing What's Current. Sly Stone, out of here. 82 years old. The last time I heard about Sly Stone, he was living in a van down by the river. No, not literally down by the river, but he was living in a van. He was virtually homeless, and he said he wanted to, be mobile. But COPD took him out. COPD is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, which affects the lungs. And if you see any pictures of what healthy lungs look like and what COPD lungs look like, it's devastating. I mean, it looks like shrapnel probably went through his lungs, and it gave him, obviously difficulty breathing, and even more so, needless to say, his singing capabilities were significantly diminished as part of that lifestyle. But he was a crackhead. He's a crackhead. He's a crackhead. He was a literal crackhead. He was addicted to crack cocaine and other drugs such as PCP. It's not healthy. It's not good for your health. But he lived a long life. And it's like, if he wanted to do crack, he wanted to do crack. He wanted to destroy his life. You're on a suicide mission. You should have the right to do it. You should have the right to smoke crack and PCP and bang heroin between his toes. That's not what he did. I don't think he did heroin. He may not have. It's not. I didn't see it in the reports. But I definitely saw that he did crack cocaine. So it's not really sad. It's not really sad because 82 years that's a stretch. That's a stretch. If it was like 60, 50, I'd be like, that's kind of short. But 80, 90, 100 is like you lived a life. You lived a full life. Could have been longer. He could have lived to 112 if he didn't have COPD. If he didn't smoke crack cocaine, but that's just the facts of it. He was a skilled musician, classically trained, formed a band. They say that there's an AllMusic article that says that James Brown invented funk and Sly Stone, I always want to say Sly Stone perfected it. And he went on to inspire and motivate the late great Prince, Outkast, amongst a whole other musicians. It's been said that his music, the music of Sly Stone and the Sly and the Family Stone, has been sampled over 1,000 times in different music, such as The Roots, Arrested Development. They didn't have everyday people; they had people every day. So that's magnificent to me. I think that's extraordinary. I mean, he has a body of work. If you have Essentials on Apple Music, you definitely made a mark because they curate the best songs that you've produced in your catalog. So that's pretty amazing to show. So I think with Sly, the summertime coming up, we're in the unofficial summer. But it's he has that song "Hot Time Fun in the Summertime." I'm a terrible singer, but that song's gonna be blaring, I'm sure. But he was in the I think he was in the valley. He was in the California. He was in a house, and when he died, he actually was able to find a home. He was not just a shelter or anything like that, but an actual stable home where he lived out the rest of his days. And this was back in 2011. So I just remember, I was like, Sly Stone and living in a van. What? I was just like, damn. Like, I mean, what is that? Is it, he blamed it on bad contracts and mismanagement. But is it bad contracts and mismanagement? Like, you have like people like Jay-Z. You have people like Dr. Dre. You got people like, Eminem, even, even 50 Cent went bankrupt and is getting his money back. I mean, it's the business of show, people. We have to remember that. It's the business of show. We have to remember the fact that you have to make the money to make the show. Once you have the money, you have the show already for you. It's tailor-made. It's sitting you right in your face. Look, I got my business together. Now I can do whatever tricks and flips and vocal cord flips and literal flips, all of that. I can do it. It's possible. So, so rock and power to Sly Stone. He influenced so many people. He influenced. It was the fusion of gospel, soul, rock and roll, and of course funk. He put the funk. He definitely expanded on the funk. He embedded the funk. He cleared the way for Parliament Funkadelic. It it just is amazing. I was watching a documentary. We Want the Funk, and they're exploring how James Brown, he introduced funk to the world. Essentially, it was pretty much all James Brown with the funky side, and then came Sly Stone, and he uh he just revolutionized the entire genre. He influenced. He brought more melody in. He brought more power of the vocal cords in. It's just extraordinary. He's a monumental icon, and he's silenced now. But his music lives on. His memory lives on. His book lives on. Thank you for letting me be myself. And of course that's spelled all differently. Kind of like now, modern times, music soul child kind of bit off that kind of style, when he made his records. But and anyway, Sly Stone had it within him to break down everything that was happening at the time. It's the 60s and 70s. There's a whole lot of moving and shaking going on. This is the post Vietnam era. This is even during some parts of the Vietnam era. This is the Black Panther movement. This is the Civil Rights movement. This is the women's movement. There's all these different things are happening. And he's got this band that has white people in it. It's got women in it. It's got black people in it. It's got, I think, Hispanics maybe in it. And he's had this whole different vibe into it. And that's another thing. He always considered the vibe to be key to his performances. He didn't even initiate some performances if the vibe wasn't right. Literally. It's like, nope, not playing. Doesn't feel right. So that's the man that Sly Stone was. He had this very uncanny sense of being able to communicate ideas and politically charged music and make it funky and fun and danceable and shouting and yelling and stomping your feet and clapping your hands and everything. That's awesome. That was exquisite. This is great how he was able to do that. And it's really sad. It's sad that he used crack cocaine and PCP and other drugs. And now I was reading an article that was like to cope with. I'm like, no. You don't cope with fame and stardom and being in the public eye and having notice with drugs. It's like a cheap way of saying that. It's very cheap, very low rent. Ain't an easy. Anybody can say that. Okay, I have a high stress, powerful job. I have to do cocaine. No, you don't. You can't. In a free society, you can use it. You will be able to use it in a free society, but why would you if you know the outcome? You know the after effects. If I do this cocaine, it's gonna make me feel energetic and high and zooming, and I'm gonna be feeling on cloud 9 for about 8 hours, and then I'm gonna crash, and then I'm gonna have to look out for more and to regain the feeling. And same thing with crack cocaine or whatever the case may be. You get high off the crack cocaine, you're like, this really it's got me zooming. I'm feeling this. It's got my head buzzing. I'm feeling it. And come off and look what the other health aspects are. Consider the other health aspects. You have COPD in his case, in Sly's case. COPD just is like it. I mean, it took almost gasped. Bumba is in the house. Salute to Bumba. Did you know about Sly Stone? Did you hear about him dying? Am I the first? Am I breaking news to you? He was like, nah, I heard it earlier. It was on the news or something. Say, watch. But yeah. So the healthy cells of the lungs are pink and circular. Oh, okay. You're telling the truth, Bumba. I appreciate that. He said, no, didn't know Sly died. Yeah. So I'm breaking news. So you owe me at least $50. I'm breaking news today. I kid. But seriously, I need $50. No, I'm serious. But no, the little pink circles, that's a healthy lung. The inside of a healthy lung. COPD looks like somebody like gouged out, parts of those lungs, or stretched them out, and they look elongated, and it's like squares or rectangles. They look and they're darker. It looks very awful. It must have been a terrible kind of lifestyle. And this may be better for him. Why couldn't this be better for him? You're not living a life. You're not living life to the fullest. Yes, there's a riot going on. Yeah, there's a riot. Yeah, I know there's a riot going on. They're sending my people, the Marines, down to LA. I guess they're San Diego Marines, I would imagine. They don't have to go too far. Maybe, what is that, like 2 hours away, 3 hours away, something like that? Yeah, so I think they're sending in San Diego Marines. But yeah, Sly. My favorite song came from The Roots, because when I first heard The Roots, it's one of my favorite songs on their album, The Tipping Point. Is Star. Everybody is a Star. That's my favorite Sly Stone song. It's a tongue twister, but that's the reality of this whole situation. I mean, he talked about this even in Everyday People. He said the blue one doesn't like the orange one, and the green one. I don't know the exact lyrics, but the blonde hair doesn't like the kinky hair, and and la la do do, and and he's talking about everyday people, just everyday people, just individuals. It's not running the mill everyday people, just individual people. That's what he was talking about, and that's what his music stood for. And that's why it's like Sly and who else is in the band? You can't really name too many other people in his band, but it was Sly Stone and the Family, or Sly and the Family Stone, I think it was. That's the reality of that. But I can appreciate his lyricism. I can appreciate his musicianship. Definitely a legend. He was inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1993. In 2006, there was a special Grammy award for Sly and Family Stone. He made his mark in America. I can't cry. I can't shed a tear. I can't shed a tear for the black man. Can't shed a tear for the black man. He made it in America. I don't know how much money he made or lost, or got switched around, or whatever the case may have been. But he made an impact in the United States of America, and his voice rang all over the world on his tracks. So that's the power, the might of the spoken and sung words, and the instrumentation. That's what propelled him into the halls of fame and everything like that. And I'm glad to hear that he lived his life in a home rather than a van. I mean, that was really low. That was like, God damn. And of course, the crack cocaine. I think he used crack cocaine to the day he died. Allegedly, I'm not sure. I don't have any proof, but I think he did use the crack until he he expired. I think I'm not. Don't quote me on that. That's what I understand it to be, because it's an addictive drug. It's a very hard drug to get off of. It's very addictive. And that's why it's important for us to have education, not just, DARE, drug awareness resistance education. Because, people pop Molly with those t-shirts on. So much for the education. I remember I had a girlfriend, she was like, I had Molly, but it made my stomach hurt. I was like, so what'd you do? Why'd you do it in the first place? You knew something was gonna be an adverse. She's like, I don't know. I was like, all right. So Sly, he made his own way because it was like a gap. It was like, who was gonna fill in? James Brown's career is kind of like, it's stable, but it's not at the highest point where it once was in the late '60s, and then like Slice took in the early the mid '70s, and he stretched it to about 1982, and that was like one of his last recordings. I think he had a few other recordings afterwards, but they weren't up to the same level of Hot Fun in the Summer and Everyday People and Everybody's a Star and Family Affair and Thank You for Letting Me Be Myself. I can run down the whole list. Those songs resonate. They have a sense of resonance, and they have a gritty sense of realism to them, and a sense of like overarching funkiness and soul that is infused in all those tracks, and that's what makes them incomparable. I mean, and you listen to it, you're like, this is Prince. This is Outkast. This is I'm listening to what am I doing? Like, because I go back, because I'm already listening to Prince. I listen to Prince first. I listen to Outkast first because that's what I grew up on. I grew up on Outkast. Then when I listen to Sly, I'm like, whoa. Sly bit off of Outkast. No, like, just in my young mind, that was like one of my teen years. I'm like, man, what happened? How did he took the melodies and the framework and the drums? How did he do that? Like, but obviously, Outkast was inspired by him, not the other way around. But it just seemed strange to me when I was like, listen to the song selections. I'm like, this is really reminiscent right now. So Sly, 82 is a great year. 82 is like, but we're weird. We're in an era where we're like, 82 is young. That's what I think is great. I think that's wonderful. I think that's awesome. When we say that 82 is young, the only reason why I'm lamenting his death is because he didn't have to die this young. At 82, he could have lived to be 99, 100, had he not, used crack. Had he not used the stem, the boulder, had he not smoked the boulders, had he not used the devil's candy. It's very sad. It's extremely sad. But it's just more so like Self-direction. It's all about self-direction. It's all about, Mr. Troy Sartorian, I think his show is either on right now or just going off or something like that. I don't know, but he was talking about healthy foods, healthy diets, healthy living. And that's way away from healthy living and healthy diets. So, well, I eat my vegetables and I run 3 miles a day and I smoke crack. It's like it doesn't even add up. Like you can't even put that in the same sentence. It doesn't even make sense. You know. Well, I smoke crack, but I don't use egg whites, and I don't drink any forms of milk or anything. I what? Okay. Bumble, I'm looking in the chat, and he's like, "There's a riot going on," and I'm thinking about the Passing Strange, which I think was probably the music was probably inspired a lot by Sly Stallone. 5, 4, 3, 2. Sly Stone. My dumbass. They're close. Stallone, Stone, Sly, Stone. I just get tripped up. I don't know why. It's crazy. But there's a play, a great musical called Passing Strange by Stu, and he has a section in the musical called I don't remember what the exact section is called, but there's a piece where it goes, Mayday, Mayday, there's a riot going on. Mayday, Mayday, there's a riot going on. Thorazine Mondays. Oh, he's hating hard. What's going on, Max? I don't take Thorazine. That's the irony. Eternal Peace to Sly. Lou Utley. Okay. Salute. And Lou. Thank you for coming and being a part of this gathering, this memorial. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here. I said Sakut. Oh my God! Hold on. Let me get that out of here. I don't even want that on here. I want this to be that, and this. Sakut. Okay, now we're back on topic. All right. And they come in, they go away. That's all right. I got my 3 likes. That's cool. Eternal peace to Sly. This is what we're going to get to. Eternal peace is possible on earth. That's the one thing we have to examine. If we're going to talk about peace, we're going to talk about eternal peace on earth, not in some dimension, not in some mystical realm beyond the grave. I'm talking about peace on earth. It is possible. It doesn't seem probable right now because we're living in such sketchy times. But we're living in eternity right now. There is no eternity but what we're living in right now. Beyond this is the non-existent. It is the non-existent. And we have to recognize that. We have to realize that. What we're living in is the eternal sensibility of life. There is no eternity after life. There's only eternity during life. It's like a book or a movie or I'm just giving you examples. I mean, it's kind of anachronistic, but it's like pages to a book. It says the end, no more. That's it. It's the end. Who cares what is beyond? Everybody's like, oh, I want to go to heaven. I don't want to go to hell. I want to, be reincarnated. I want to be, I want to be in limbo. I want to be in purgatory. I want to, Yes, Rocco Bonavita. Salute. Stand. He knows what he's talking about. That's a Sly Stone classic, Stand. Stand is definitely one of the greatest songs that in his repertoire. And Sly Stone's repertoire. All I gotta do is take my time, I guess. Just take my time, sound it out, use my words, and I'll be okay. But thank you for the likes. I appreciate the likes. Like. Share, share, share. Tell somebody else about the show. When you come in the show, make sure you say, "Hey, look, this nigga Sky, he be talking a lot of stuff, but he's got some good ideas sometimes. So make sure you check him out. You know, right even before you make that change, when you see that notification, you say, "Oh, that Sky's live," and you say, "Oh, I got to tell at least 3 or 4 people." You know, just that'd be awesome. That'd be great, just to keep the show, moving. So, all right. So that's another classic, Stand, Everyday People. Thank you for letting me be myself. Uh, um, A Family Affair, another classic. You can keep going on and on and on and on. My Lady, um, just classic after classic. And it's sad. It's sad that he died at 82. I'm going to say it. I'm going to venture out and say it. He should have died at 93, at 103, 112. Because he would have been 83 this year. So he should have died at 113. Wall Gibson, Crossword Puzzle. Is that a song? I'm not familiar with that. What is? Are you trolling right now? I don't know what you're doing. Crossword Puzzle. Salute. I thought so. I knew. I wasn't familiar with it. I'm not deep. I'll tell you that for the quickest. I'm not deep in his catalog. I just listened to his greatest hits, his essentials. Um, I'm saying his because I'm not saying there. Oh, De La Soul sample. Oh, got you. See, another example. If I'm listening to De La Soul or Arrested Development or The Roots or even Prince, I think Prince didn't sample his music, but he had like the spirit of his music. Say no, go. Okay, and that reminds me of what are they called? Daryl Hall and John Oates, if I'm not mistaken. Am I mistaken? Volley Gibson. That sounds like Daryl Hall and John Oates. Say no go. Which they were funky white boys, and they still are. They're still alive, but when they're at their heyday, they're funky white boys. They had private eyes and something. What happened to Sly? Crack cocaine happened to Sly. Son 90. Crack cocaine. That's what happened to Sly at 82. 82 is like, okay, like that's a life. That's a full life. But it could have been more. I'm greedy. I'm like, he could have been 113 because, like I said, he would have died in 83. They sampled both songs in one song. Whoa, wow. No wonder they had their issues with copyright infringement or paying royalty or residuals to various people. They, if I'm not mistaken, they sold 3 million units of their album 3 Feet High and Rising, and they had to wait like years or at least months until they could get paid. To live to 82 after his drug use is phenomenal. Yeah, I would say, like I said, yeah, I say that's a good stretch. That's a good stretch. It could have been even earlier. 82 is 2 lives. Yeah, I say that. I agree with that. Once you hit the 80s, it's like, yeah, you're good. You're good. But you can live longer. I'm greedy. Like I said, I'm greedy. I want to be like 113, 150 when I die. I want to be real old. But if I'm not, I'm not. But I'm not going to be smoking crack cocaine, in the interim. I'm not going to, speed up the process or make my life worse. He had trouble breathing. He had issues with his breath. He had trouble. He had terrible trouble. I'm not trying to make it sound light. He had horrific breathing problems. COPD is nothing to mess with. I mean, I remember seeing the commercials. You always see COPD. If you have COPD, then you actually ask your doctor. There's some kind of medicines that they have, some kind of pharmaceuticals that they have now for COPD. Oh, what happened to his family band? Well, his sister was in the band, and the mother of his daughter was also in the band. There was one gentleman that was also in the band. I can't remember his name, but they had a really bad falling out. They're like wondering if one or the other was going to have a hit out on him after he was disbanded. You can look this up. I mean, I can't remember. I was just doing a little bit of research. I can't remember the exact name, but it got bad. It was nasty. And they just disbanded after a few years, like during the late 80s to the early 90s, when they were inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1993. That's basically what happened to the band. I don't know if they have ever had any, drug problems themselves like he did. I'm not sure exactly. But yeah, so that's basically just what happened to the band. Once you look at it, you really get to understand, whoa. Clive Davis said that Sly Stone only scratched the surface with his talent. Let that sink in. He said drugs made him paranoid, erratic, and eroded his talent with a shame. What a shame. Wow. Thank you. Is it Wally or Wally or Wally? Tell me how to say it phonetically so you correct my dumb ass. Harry Styles. Let what's up, kid? Harry Styles. Let what's up, kid. Okay. But yeah, that is serious. If Clive Davis said that. He only scratched the surface. I mean, just imagine if he didn't have a dependency. What kind of treasures we could have been, privy to that were locked away in his mind, but weren't able to manifest because of his proclivity to smoke crack. I mean, it's just that simple. It's just that cut and dry. It's just that real. It's really sad, but I'm not crying over him. I can't shed a tear because he had a full life. I mean, there are millions, if not billions, of people that would have loved this life. I mean, this is way before the internet. This is way before things were issued out and how things were digested, or how you received and you consumed your music. This had to be spread word of mouth. Sly and the Family Stone was one of the only black groups to perform at Woodstock. Very few, maybe Kendrick, not Kendrick, Jimi Hendrix. Excuse me, Jimi Hendrix is one of the other ones. I can't remember any other ones, but those two were definitely standouts. And just imagine what Jimi Hendrix could have been. Drugs, cocaine, everything, heroin. Hell of a drug. It's a hell of a drug. Oh, hellish drugs. Terrible, horrible, no good, very bad substances to use. But, excuse me. But you should be able to use them. No, not really, Harry Styles. Not really. Molly Gibson says he truly was a genius. Some people have addictive personality. One person can use cocaine or heroin one time and never mess with it again, and other never recover. Yes, you're telling facts. They say, hey, that was cool. That was great. I got hot. I felt it, but I don't think I'll ever do that again. But to live to 82 and have it was like in the mid 80s. It's like 40 years. He's been doing crack cocaine for 40 years, at least, allegedly. He's been doing it ever since, and he died at 82. I can't shed a tear for him. Black man in America probably made millions, lost it. He said the bad contracts. This is why I always praise people like Jay-Z and people like Taylor Swift, people like that, in the music. Get the business together. Get the business in order. Once you have the business in order, you can have all the show you want. It's the business of show, not show business. That's why, what happened to NSYNC and Backstreet Boys. A lot of people joke and say, oh, it was Eminem. He got him out of here. He said, I've been sent here to destroy you, But it really was the managers. It was the people behind the scenes of NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys that, really derailed their careers. The guy was stealing from him. If you ever watch an episode of American Greed, which is evil to say, the way they frame it, they say greed is good, by the way. Greed is a good thing. You're supposed to be greedy. Greedy for life, greedy for love, greedy for air. He wanted to have air. He was breathing like, probably, I'm sure. It's probably very difficult. It's not just a thing probably about 45 years. I think MJ brought his catalog from him. Yeah. I think that is true. Now that you say that, I think that is true. And look at MJ. Look at Prince. They had their dependencies. Could you imagine if they had time? And that was young. They were young. What is it? Eminem, not Eminem. Michael Jackson was what, 50? He was 50 when he died? Am I wrong? Please correct me if I'm wrong. Please correct me. How old was he when he died? He was 50. Who's that? Who's been clean since 2019? I believe. You saying? Oh, yeah. I think that is true. And he was moving to a house. He was moving, and he had his autobiography. Thank you for letting me be myself. Released in 2023. I got you. I'm gonna just call you Gibson because I don't want to mess up your name. I'm just call you Gibson. I'm stupid like that. But yeah, so it's like it's like MJ was 50, right? Everybody in agreement? Everybody raise their hand and ask a question. If you let me know. Dumbass Skylar, it's really he was 63 or something, but I think he was 50. That's scary to me. That's 13 years away from me. Ali with a W, just say all together. MJ was 50. All say with a W, just yeah. MJ was 50. Yeah. Okay. So that's frightening. That's 13 years away from me. That's crazy. MJ was young as hell. That's super young. That's super young. And Prince, what was he? He was 58. No, what was he? He was something like, I think he was like 58. I could be wrong. He was supposed. I think Prince was 58 when he died. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Get the Googling. Correct my dumb ass. But I think he was 58 when he died. So I think they're both in their 50s. One because of propofol, the other because of fentanyl. That is insane. That is just it's insane. I mean, it's the lady sings the blues. It's all of them. They gave MJ that concoction, and Prince was poisoned, I believe. But what was Prince's age? Was he 58? I think he was 58. Yeah, just do my research. Oh, he wasn't. That's right. That's exactly right. He would have been 58 in June. He died in April. That's a good point. Thank you for that. Thank you. He was 57. And was MJ 50 or was he 49? Was he 50? He was 50, right? He was 50. Okay. And Prince was 57. Okay. He would have been 58. Good point. Thank you for that. it's just sad. It's just completely sad. That's like with Ye. Ye had one of the best lines on uh crack music on his album. It's gonna be 20 years from now. Oh my god, 20 years in August. Late registration. When our heroes and heroines got hooked on heroin, we invested in that. It's like we got Merrill lynched. Like so many people. I mean, that was an era of heroin back in the 60s and 70s. That's what got people strung out. Some of the greatest people in show business, got strung out on heroin. Oh, who's they? Oh, who's they? Gibson. Who's they? Because MJ had a deep catalog. He had the Beatles catalog. Oh, Sony. I see you misspelled it, but I understand what you're saying. You can write it again if you want, but I know what you meant. Yeah, Sony. Oh, he had a deep catalog. He had the Beatles. He had the Beatles catalog. It's a third time's the charm. Third time. Take your time. Take your time. Third time's the charm. I know what you're trying to say. I know what you're trying to say. Sony. I know what you're trying to say. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that catalog was deep. He had other people like his biggest catalog. I think was the Beatles, but I think he had Sly Stone. I think he had. I don't know. I don't want to venture any guesses. If you guys want to put in, different pieces of the MJ catalog, y'all can. But I think he did have Slides in the Family Stone. I'm pretty sure he did. He was trying to buy Marvel comics. Yes, I remember that. It's either you dead or you're in jail. That's the narrative that's been spoken. Like MJ, he wanted to try to buy Marvel, and then he died. He was unalived, I guess, in certain circumstances. And then Bill Cosby wanted to buy NBC, so he's going to jail. And he came out. He's out now, but he can never regain his status. Yes, thank you, Elvis, Beatles, and I guess I don't imagine Sly. I would imagine, and the Family Stone, of course, and the rest of the band. But yeah, so that's just crazy. That's just crazy, man. That's crazy. 82 years old though. 82. That's a full life, but it's like we live in an era. We live in an era, and the thing is, who knows how old he would have been? He could have probably lived to 112 if he didn't have COPD. COPD is a monster. They will slander you, put charges on you. Yes, Gibson, you're speaking truths. But I just say that's part of the narrative. I don't know if that's necessarily true. Just for the sake of purposes of my show, I'm not trying to get sued. But yeah, they say that. They say that people were trying to make big moves. I think they were saying like even Kobe Bryant was trying to make a big move. He was trying to make a league or something like that. He was trying to make like a women's league or something like that, or something. It was crazy. I could be wrong. Y'all can correct me, but I think Kobe was in the works of creating a league right before the helicopter collision. Y'all can correct me if you want to, because that's what I took in. He was trying to make a league for I think either young girls or women or something like that. It was like the Mamba. It was part of the Mamba outreach or something like that. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. Get on shoe companies, soft drink, body armor, etc., etc. Yeah, yeah. I hear you, Gibson. I hear you. You're probably gonna be the star tonight. Like you can have that. Yeah. Whenever you're trying to make a big move, it's like, oh, but unless you got to be insulated. Like Jay-Z is insulated. Jay-Z has insulation. He owns his. I don't know which masters he owns, but he owns some masters to some of his projects. I don't think he owns all of his masters. Like Taylor Swift owns all of her masters, everything. Everything she's ever recorded, she owns it. I don't think that's true for Jay-Z. Like Reasonable Doubt is like chopped up. I think Dame Dash owns a piece of it. Biggs Burke owns Kareem Biggs Burke owns a piece of it. Of Reasonable Doubt. And so I don't think he has full ownership. I don't think. I could be wrong. Please correct me if my dumb ass is wrong. But that's what I think is true. You guys can run back and say, no, Scott, you don't know what you're talking about. Neither can Adidas. Neither can Adidas do what? Neither can Adidas say what can Adidas neither do? Imagine Kobe, Kanye, and Kyrie coming together for a collaboration on new sneakers. That's KKK. Ye would like that. KKK, Kobe, Kanye, and Kyrie. That would have been insane. That would have been crazy. But yeah, I'm gonna check in on that again. See if Kobe was gonna make a big move right before the helicopter crash. So if I'm not mistaken, he had some kind of girls' league or women's league that he was gonna do part of the Mamba umbrella. Can't remember though, but dang, that was 5 years ago. So things move so fast now. I mean, things move at like lightning speed, maybe even more, light years. Like in distance, the amount of distance that is covered in light years. So Sly is out of here. He's gone. It's a wrap. Didn't have to be this early. Didn't have to be this early. Could have been much later. That's the beauty of capitalism, children. Come on in and let me clue you in. Capitalism even produced this, Sly Stone's life and career. Everybody thinks capitalism, it's just big businessmen doing work and making widgets and stuff like that. No, capitalism is freedom of ideas and thought and protection primarily of individual rights and individual property rights. He got too powerful with his focus and discipline, and he would have been unstoppable. He was getting into movies as well. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That is right. Sad to say. Kobe, rock and power to Kobe Bryant. But what was I saying? What was I saying? I don't remember what I was saying, but rock and power to Kobe Bryant. He was going to be a force. He was, force more so than he already was. What he represented, the work ethic. Oh my God, work ethic. I think Sly Stone had that same kind of energy and commitment to a cause. Family Stone, that's right. Tomcat, salute. Let's see. Oh boy, I see. I tried to be early. I was going to be earlier, but Mr. George Terrain was on, and I was like, I'm gonna give him some time. I want to make sure people go to his show rather than my show because he has a better product. I'm not trying to bad on myself. It's just a fact. He has a better product. He has better capabilities. He has a better audience, size and scope. So go to Choice Terrain instead of my show. If we're on at the same time or something like that, just be like that. I mean, I'm great. I'm good, but he's better. It's just true. Ladies and gentlemen, take out that's what I meant to say. Sly Stone packs. Get your Sly Stone packs. Of course, Mr. Sir, Richard James would say it. Ladies and gentlemen, take out your Sly Stone packs. We are smoking the late great singer and songwriter of Earth, Wind, and Fire. He was the voice, the leader, the king, led the rally for the black man. Fact. Where's the Earth, Wind, and Fire? Did he write any of their songs? Not to my knowledge. What's going on with Gibson? Where's all his where's his messages going? All his messages are going away. What happened to Gibson? So Tomcat, if you want me to stay. He was the voice of Earth, Wind, and Fire, sir. Fact. Was he though? I cannot confirm or deny that as a fact. Sly Stone Dynamite is fire. Excuse me. Sly Stone Dynamite is fire. What happened to your messages, Gibson? Did you take them out? What's going on? They're pretty never had you waited. In some ways, he was a genius. No, he was a genius. He was a genius. You're exactly right, Rick James. And what are you talking about with Earth, Wind, and Fire? You probably know more than I. I'm just a dumb millennial. I have no clue what happened, behind the scenes. They may have had sessions together. I don't know. He was a master of singing. Yes. He had a powerful voice. Yes. That's true, Rick James. He had a lot of women. Okay. Do you link with a woman or man yet? Never a man ever. I've linked with a woman with women before. Had 4 beautiful relationships with women of all stripes: Hispanic, black, white. Not all stripes, but many stripes. For me, both. Rick James is honest. He'll tell the truth. Yeah, both. He'll tell the truth. I'm telling the truth too, but I'm just saying, at least he's putting it out there like that. But Sly, man, 82. That's what I was thinking about. Capitalism. Only in a capitalist society can you smoke crack cocaine for probably 20, 30, or 40 years, have COPD, and die at the age of 82. Just that's unheard of. You can't do that in Pakistan. You can't do that in Afghanistan. Can you do that in China or Taiwan? I doubt it. Wait a minute, hold on. My boy out here using star philosophy got him getting no cat. Well, I don't get the cat. The cat comes to me. It's a beautiful thing, yes. Sly was probably the best songwriter of the generation. Fact. One of the best, if not the best, songwriters. I can definitely say that. Taiwan, yes. China, no. Did Sly write other major hits? Oh, we just named them. Everyday People. Uh, Everybody's a star. Is a star. Family Affair. Hot Fun in the Summertime. You can go on and on and on. Thank you for letting me be myself again. Without Sky, there would be no. Oh, you meant Sly. There would be no Red House. Facts. Oh, okay, now Rick James is speaking super facts. Without Sly, he meant Sly. There would be no Red Hot Chili Peppers, no Kendrick, no Eminem, no Ice Cube, and no Snoop Dogg. Fact. True. Fact. True. Stop it. Humble yourself. Ain't no woman running into your arms. It's already happened. I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to be Mr. Don Juan, but I have the woman that I affected. Like, I had to tell her when we were on the job. I was like telling her, we can do this after, you know, after we get off the floor. You can't be, touching and feeling up on me and stuff like that. I had to lay the groundwork. Another female, she said, "You're gonna be my last boyfriend." I'm like, hey, that's too much. That's a lot of sauce. That's a lot of sauce. No, Red Hot Chili Peppers would be a good thing. He paved the way for the black man to sing. Oh, we're doing a lot. He did write for Jefferson Airplane as well as other psychedelic 60s groups. Okay. Paved the way for the black man to sing. No, Red Hot Chili Peppers would be a good thing. I don't think so. Red Hot Chili Peppers is one of the best bands ever created. They're definitely in the top tier. He gave the black man a voice, true. Maybe a lady boy. Okay, never a lady boy. I would admit to that. Harry, I've tried a few lady boys. At least not Anthony Kiedis. I was gonna say Anthony Kiedis is one of the reasons why he was gonna be a rapper. He wanted to be like the Furious Five, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, but they, once he banded together, he had like the connotation of being a rocker more so than a rapper. He had the singing capacity, but there are various songs on Red Hot Chili Peppers catalog where he's kind of like rapping, but it's more like in a sing-songy kind of way. He is objectively terrible. I disagree with you, sir. I think Anthony Kiedis is really cool. He had a gift of writing great pop songs and citing social media commentary inside without being too preachy. Yes. When I first came on here, I was like thinking about I was thinking about the riots going on. They're talking about the blue one doesn't like the black one, and shooby dooby doo. Like, that's everyday people. I mean, that's a very political song, very very politically charged song. Oh, here he goes. He's hating. Please hate more, Harry. You're one of the haters. I appreciate it. Skylar, it's Pride Month. Come out for the culture. Come on out. Get out of the closet, honey. Quit keying. Objectivism here must come into play, not your poor personal taste in rock music. Well, I appreciate that, Harry. Or excuse me, Tomcat. But I disagree with you. Prince wanted to record with him, but never got the chance to. But Jesse Johnson did. Wow. Skypaw, that was cute. Purr. That was cute. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for 3 people. 7 more people. We got a party. About to get out of here. But yeah, he just finished the show. I'm sure he did. Yeah, he had a great show. I was listening to it while I was on my walk. It's one of the best things you can do. You can just go for a walk. Drink water and go for walks, and you'll live to be 200. Have a nice night. He's already in it. Yeah, well, I got a minute and a half left. Star Show was whack. Okay. Harry Styles is just hating the hate, apparently. No, it wasn't whack. He had a guest on there talking about healthy foods and eating right and eating proper diets. It's not whack. I missed most of it. Yeah, definitely catch the rebroadcast. Catch the rebroadcast. It's an excellent show. He has Lisa, I think it's Dr. Lisa or something like that. Was his co-host for most of the time. You on Team Israel? I don't like it to be trivialized. Like, oh, we have to pick a team. It's more like the people of Israel. That's why I respect, admire, and support as individuals. Tomcat. And I can go for a little bit over. And for some reason my time has been chopped off. I don't know why. I don't care because I get more money. I am an atheist, Tomcat. Brother Sky sucked his small hats. Of course. Here he goes. Thank you, Harry Styles. Right. I was a Christian for 16 years, since the age of 3 till 19. So that's a fact. That's the truth. That's reality. So why are you into Israel? I'm into technologically advanced, morally sound, strong, thoughtful individuals. That's why. Not a Jew. I'm not a Jew. I'm an atheist. I'm an objectivist by the school of Ayn Rand. By way of the school of Ayn Rand. And it's more so about rationality over emotionalism. But sky high as F. No, I'm high off life. I had uh protein shake, two protein. What did I have? Two or one? I think I had two. Yeah, two protein shakes, some chicken, and water all day. And there goes Harry Styles' message retracted. Are you an accelerationist? I don't know what an accelerationist is. What is an accelerationist? Check out the fresh fresh album, by Sly Stone. That's one of their last ones. Man, they cooked on that one, yeah. They said that was the last one. Yeah. The pills, okay. I would like to answer Tom. Well, I would like to know what Tomcat's talking about. What is an accelerationist? No, I wouldn't classify. I just looked up the definition of accelerationist, and I wouldn't classify myself as such. I'll just classify myself as a capitalist. So you mentioned technology and society. Yeah, but I mentioned technology as far as morality is concerned. They're the most technologically advanced, most moral state, as opposed to Gaza, which should have been leveled at the beginning on October 8th of 2023. So what's up, Tomcat? We got some more? Bring in some more people so we have a party. And now it's back down to 7 more people, and we have a party. I can go for a little longer. So Tomcat's still working out his business, but thank you, Gibson. You've been the all-star tonight. You've been great. Salute to you. Appreciate you. I will listen to Fresh. Is it the Fresh or Fresh? I don't know, but I'll definitely listen to it. I'll see how that goes. Hey, it's been fun. It's been real sad news. Sly Stone out of here. Good news. He lived 82 years on COPD for probably 30, 40 years, something like that, and still was able to live out life. So salute to him. It's his final tour of duty, I think they say. And okay, well, here we go. Accelerationism in terms of technology, especially related to AI, should happen more quickly, even if it disrupts existing systems and leads to radical social changes. Like I said, I'm not an accelerationist. I'm just a radical for capitalism. Just radical for capitalism, for free markets, the ability to have the government in place to protect individual rights and property rights. That's all I'm for. not necessarily the speed of it or whatever the case may be. Um, I'm just for capitalism, pure and simple. All right. I don't think it's one and the same. I think it's a difference. I think it's a difference. But I appreciate you. So thank you. I shall see you all some other time, probably tomorrow, maybe earlier, maybe later, maybe earlier because Mr. Rick James came through. Sir Rick James came through. So I will see you all sometime tomorrow. Take care.